In chapter 12, we were saying, okay, how do alcohols react? Well, you can oxidize them. And when you do, what do you produce? Aldehydes and ketones. Chapter 13, we could say, how do you make aldehydes and ketones? Well, you can oxidize an alcohol. Oxidize an alcohol and it will make an aldehyde or a ketone. So let's just get into that a little bit more. A primary alcohol will oxidize to produce an aldehyde. Now this should start making some sense because a primary alcohol has the OH on the end. The oxygen isn't going to move. We're going to eliminate two hydrogens here and form a double bond right there. The carbon-oxygen single bond is nothing's happening to it. The oxygen isn't going anywhere. It's forming a double bond right there. Let's just see if we can make that a little bit bigger. Too big. Okay? So just keep this in mind. In a lot of these reactions, the oxygen isn't moving. Whatever carbon it started on, that's where it should end on. Don't give me another molecule with the oxygen. So so a primary alcohol is not going to make a ketone. To make a ketone, the oxygen would have to move, right? Doesn't. Where it started is where it ends up. This now has a carbon-oxygen double bond. So a primary alcohol produces an aldehyde. And what we're doing here is an oxidizing agent. It's pyridinium dichromate here is the oxidizing agent, which we generally just indicate that way. Okay, and a secondary alcohol, 2-hexanol. So this kind of looks on the end, but we're going around a corner here. This is actually on the second carbon. There's carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2-hexanol. This is a secondary alcohol. Secondary alcohol oxidizes to form a ketone. And wherever the oxygen was on carbon number 2 is where the carbon-oxygen or carbonyl. You should know this, that a carbon-oxygen double bond is referred to as a carbonyl. That's another name for that. So whether it's on the end, the aldehyde has the carbonyl on the end. Ketone has the carbonyl along the chain. Okay. And a tertiary alcohol, no reaction. This is reviewing chapter 12 for you right now, actually. But we would want to mention this. Let's see if we have an example. Yeah, so here's... Okay, what we're learning here is that an aldehyde can go on one more step and produce a carboxylic acid. So if you started out with a primary alcohol, you oxidize it, you form an aldehyde. The aldehyde can oxidize another step and become a carboxylic acid. So let's finish. Let's put this off here. So ethanol can oxidize. Ethanol can oxidize to form ethanal. Ethanal can oxidize to form ethanoic acid. If we had an H right here, that would be ethanoic acid or acetic acid. Yeah, and I think rather than get into these other reactions, we'll stop there with chapter 13. We'll pick this up after the exam. I'm going to have this homework due on Tuesday, so that really from now until Monday morning, you can get your mind set on chapters 10, 11, and 12. Okay? Yeah, we went into chapter 13 here a little bit, but after the exam, you can pick this up. You can, we'll finish off chapter 13 after the exam. You can finish off chapter 13 homework and turn it in on Tuesday. Okay, and we'll pick up with this slide here. So put here, start here.